Today I want us to have a conversation, and we are going to look at the definition of success. You know, most people want to be successful in life, but most people have never taken time to really ask themselves, what is success? What does it even look like to be successful? How does it feel for you to be successful? Last week I was working on a sales presentation. There is a client whom we were preparing to do a pitch, and as I was just going through the preparation, a thought kept on coming in my mind, and the question that came in my mind was, will I be successful in convincing the client to buy into my idea? And now as I was thinking through that question is when I really asked myself, what is success? And when you just think through, in life you'll meet three kinds of people. There are people whom you meet who just love you for no reason. The other group of people are those people who will hate you for no reason, maybe just because of how you look, maybe just because of how you talk and how you present yourself. And now the third group of people are those people who will love you, who will accept you, who will like you because of what you are doing. And as I was going through this, and I asked myself a question, what if my presentation lands in the hand of someone who really hates me? Even though it might be a very perfect kind of a pitch, it might be done in a very professional way, but just because the fact that this person don't like me for whatever reason, the chances that I shall be successful in that presentation is hard. And by any chance I become successful in convincing the person to buy into my idea, it might be difficult or hard to work with them, because each time they will be looking for just something to pinpoint out that this is something you've done wrong. But if my presentation, for instance, fall in the hands of someone who for whatever reason just loved me without even any reason, you realize that maybe just because of how I look, or maybe just there is just something that made them to like me. Even though the presentation will not be that perfect, but they will be even willing to work with me. They will be willing to brainstorm and say that if you can work on this point, I think it will make it better. And to realize that as long as the presentation makes sense, they will not be so much keen, or they will not go into so much details in finding out how everything is. And now there is that group of people, the people who will judge you or will judge your work based or depending on your professionality, how competent you are, how you are able to do a given task, how you communicate. Are you competent enough, or are you speaking in a very articulate manner? And as I was just going through this is just an example that I'm giving to you, but you realize that just from that you understand that people will rate you based on their biases, which means that now if we focus or if we depend on people to really define success for us, we might be setting ourselves up for failure. Jim Rohn says something that is very important, that if you fail to have a life plan, chances are that you'll fall into someone else's life plan. And guess what they have for you? Not much. So people will be more focused on what they are getting out of you, and they will not be really focused on what they are giving you. So in any time that you are talking about success, it is important for us to understand that we must come up with our own definition. We must design success in our own terms, in our own way, that people are not going to come into our space to really tell us what we are supposed to do. Now, there are a few things that you need to look out as you come up with a definition of success. But before that, I just want to make this, that most people want to be successful, but they never take time to really define, to really ask themselves, what is success? They never take time to really ask what they want. And you realize that if you don't know what you want, the chances of you getting that thing becomes minimal. Now, in my study, I did some study and I found some definitions that might be of great help. And one is that of Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar says that success is the ability to maximize your potential. That if you put yourself outside there and you are able to exercise in every way possible just to bring out your best, that is success. But also Al Ningale said that success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Now, a worthy ideal is a goal, something that you value, something that comes from within. You realize that from this definition, something that stands out is that success is not dependent on what people are going to say, on what people are going to speak, but really it's something that comes from within. Now, there are things that I want you to be very careful when now you are trying to come up with your own definition of success. The first one being, success is not an idea imposed by other people on you. Today, if you go to social media, you will find various forms of various things and or various definition of success. And one common thing is success has been projected as a person who has these massive followers on their social platform, someone who goes for a vacation to this beautiful beach, someone who owns so many homes, someone who has a perfect family, a perfect marriage, and they're just showing that kind of life which is very perfect, without any challenge, without any problem. But the thing that we most of the time forget is someone is presenting the best outside there. You know, if someone is taking a picture of themselves, they will go through their phone and check the perfect shot, and that is what they will post. So we are comparing our life with someone faked kind of life. And each time we keep on thinking that is how successful, that is how success looks like. And then we end up following something that really is not true. Now, our culture, where we've been raised, really carries a strong weight when it comes to our definition of success. You realize that from the time you are a child, parents are bringing their understanding of what success means to you. They will tell you how you're going to be successful, or what you're supposed to do, or who you are supposed to become for you to become successful. When you go to school, teachers will also come and tell you that if you pass this subject, you are setting up yourself for excellence. And they will also try to bring their own kind of understanding of how success is supposed to be to you. And also the people that you interact with daily, your friends, the people you listen to, the people that you allow in your circle, they carry this kind of influence, because they will also come with their own definition of what success is. But you realize that people are coming with their definition of success to you. If you allow that to be imposed to you, and now you start to follow what people have been speaking to you, what you are really doing is that you are living success in someone's else's success without really thinking your own, without really coming up with your own kind of definition. Now, the other thing that you need to be very keen when defining your success is, don't over-identify yourself with your profession. I know that we have the tendency, if you are working in this company or you have a good job, most of the time you'll realize that now you are identifying yourself with the title you have. You're working with this big company, an international company, and each time you're walking to your office, you feel as if you're so much accomplished. And to some extent, you start to over-identify yourself with your job, and therefore there is nothing else that you can think about. You're only thinking about your job and how you're going to use that status for you to seem successful. And you realize that when you focus, if you focus on your job, there are other areas in your life that you start to lose track of, and slowly by slowly you start losing in other areas without really knowing what you're doing to yourself. And the last thing that you need to really be careful when defining success is, you are not You are not in competition with other people. So your success is not trying to outsmart other people. Your kind of definition should not be that because someone is doing this thing, I have to do this, so that I have to do the same thing in the best way possible to outshine them, so that I seem more successful or more intelligent than the other person. What really comparison does, it steals your joy. That is the moment that you start to be frustrated. That is the moment that you try something and maybe it is not working out. But the thing that you fail to realize that someone else's journey is not similar to yours. You don't know what they have gone through. You don't know what lesson they have learned for them to get where they are. And now you are there imposing yourself and trying to make sure that you are looking at what someone is doing so that you can replicate the same. Now, there are two things that will happen in that circumstance. The first thing is that you might work out, you might borrow the same blueprint and really follow through what the person did and just dedicate yourself, give your energy to it, and you realize that you will become successful. But the thing is, you will become successful, but you will not be fulfilled. And you realize that you are living someone else's kind of definition of success, and really inside you are feeling a void that needs to be filled. And now you are searching for something that you need to do so that you feel as excited, you feel as happy as they are. And now, and I want to equate this analogy to imagine that you are climbing a ladder, but your ladder is leaning on the wrong wall. Just imagine getting to the top of the wall, then you see your wall at a distance. That kind of frustration, that kind of pain that you will feel, that I've been working all this hard, I've been doing all these things only to come to the wrong wall. Is that something that you will be excited about? And that's why you need to come up with your own definition of success. Now, there are various aspects that you need to understand for you to have a holistic picture of what success looks like. You know, success is not just the focus that you put in your career. It's not just the focus you put in your relationship. It's not just the focus you put on your physical body. But success combines all these things together, and you make sure that you are doing well in every other aspect of your life. For instance, you must work on your spiritual life. You know, most people tend to really underestimate the power spirituality holds in their life. But something that you need to understand, that when all things are said and done, and you've tried everything and nothing is giving you hope, and you are reaching to that place where you want to give up, your faith is what you will run to. So in as much as possible, try to make sure that you study your religion, you study your faith to understand what it's all about. And after studying, just practice. You realize that it will save you lots of disappointment, lots of frustration. The other thing is your physical being. You know, you must take care of your body. You must take care of your mind. When we talk about the physical health, that is why you are required to exercise every day. You are supposed to watch what you are eating. You are supposed to look at the things that you are doing to your body. Are they causing any harm? And also the physical part of it is the mentally building a mentally strong kind of a person, that you make sure that you're working on your mind to make it strong. You do that by reading books, good books. You do that by making sure that you stretch your mind, just to make sure that you are stretching it to the point where you are growing. And you realize that the mind is malleable, that it has the ability to expand. If you stretch it with new information, if you stretch it with new ideas, it will be able to stretch and adapt. In fact, I was just reading some work by Dr. Carol Beck, and she speaks about mindset so much. And there is this important thing that I learned about the mind, that mindset plays a crucial role in your success. If you have the wrong kind of mindset, you are going to perceive the world in a wrong way. So you must work on your mind to make sure that you have the correct frame of understanding, so that everything you do don't limit you, that everything you do don't become as a tool of frustration or something that will limit you to really explore the other areas of your life. The other aspect of life that you need to work on is the financial aspect of it. Financial independence is the goal of each and every person, that you must always strive to make sure that you come to the point where you can comfortably be able to sustain yourself and be able to even help other people. That can only be achieved if you work and make sure that you have enough capital, you have enough income. And this can be done in various ways, just to make sure that you have different streams of income coming in on your way, so that you can also be able to support your dream. Now, the other aspect that most people neglect is the social aspect, the people you keep around you. You know, there is this cliche that is usually said many times, that your network is your net worth. This is something that people take it lightly, but if you just try to think through, there is no way you will achieve success on your own. There is no way you will be able to build an empire on your own. You will need the help of other people. You will need the support of other people. If I'm a doctor, I cannot say that I will be able to construct a house that will be able to hold me by my doctor knowledge. If I'm an engineer, I will need the doctor to come and treat me. So you can never say at any point in your life that you are so superior kind of a person, and therefore you don't need people. But the people you bring around you, you must first evaluate that, so just to make sure that at least they are adding some value in your life. Now, I want to suggest to you some few things that you can think through as you come up with your definition of success. And that the first thing you need to focus on is your purpose. Do you have something that you feel that you need to work on, something that gives you joy, something that people comes to you, only you to give that service or to provide that solution? Your purpose really speaks a lot, because it is something that will give you the passion for you to keep on doing that thing. So that, and also the other thing is, if you have a purpose, it will really determine the kind of values you are going to have. It's going to determine the things that you are going to involve yourself in. So purpose sets you apart and is able to really shorten your time to success. Now, purpose is important, but you must also focus on growth. Are you developing yourself every day to become better? That you are in a competition today to better yourself. And the competition that you are in is a competition. The competition you are in is a competition between you and yourself. You know, each day you need to wake up and say that I'm here today. What am I going to do to make sure that tomorrow I move to the next step? What am I going to do to make sure that I move on to the next step? Just to develop yourself, to make sure that you are becoming better and better every day. And now, as you work on that, know your values. Many people compromise their values just for the sake of getting material gains. Many people compromise just because they want to please other people. But the thing that they do not realize or understand is, when they compromise, it really doesn't settle well within them. Someone else is happy, but you personally you are not happy. So you must focus on your values. And if you really protect, if you stand and you say that you're not going to compromise your values, you are going to find that inner peace, inner satisfaction. And part of what you're supposed to really focus on when you are defining success is doing things that gives you that peace that comes from within, not from external validation. I know that to some point we might be looking for that congratulation from other people, job well done from other people. But if we just focus on hearing what is good from other people, and we really don't really measure what is within our capability or what we can be able to do, we shall be given other people the power to really determine what gives us joy, what gives us happiness, and then you realize that you are losing on your part and other people are gaining because now they can be able to control your life. So those are some of the suggestions that you need to think through. And also, just to sum this up, your definition of success is not something that is static. You will keep on designing, you'll keep on defining success as you progress in life. But I just want to make some few suggestions to you that you can consider. There are just few steps that you can consider when designing or defining what success really looks to you. Number one is to ask yourself why. Why is success important to you? Is it because of the impact that you want to create in the world? There are people who are motivated by just helping people. There are people who are motivated if they can teach someone a concept and be able to explain it in a way that someone understands. There are people who are motivated if they can give their money, resources out there and just help people. And there are people who are really driven by the desire to build a $1 billion business, maybe in a tech company or any kind of business. So the question is to ask yourself why. Why do you want to be successful? What is the thing that what is the kind of feeling that you are looking for? How is your life going to be different when you become successful? Are you going to change the place where you stay? Are you going to buy a new car? What new thing are you going to do when you become successful? Those are just some of the things or some of the reasons that may make you or may give a definition to you of what success really means to you. Now, as you ask yourself this question, the next step is to evaluate. Zig Ziglar says that most people never dare to evaluate really where they are. And you must know where you are before determining the chances of getting where you want to in life. Now, evaluation is the process where you introspect, you check at your life. What are some of the successes that you have had in your life? What are some of the lessons you've learned in achieving those successes? What are some of the obstacles you had to overcome in the process of achieving what you've achieved? And you realize that there are so many things that you have been successful in life, and most of the time you'll keep on focusing on what you are here to achieve. And what you need to know that success builds on success, and if you don't appreciate what you already have achieved, it will be very hard and very difficult for you to really move on ahead, because you will be discouraged, you will be demotivated, and you will not have the sight, because you look at yourself as a failure, as a person who has not done anything meaningful. Maybe you have a perfect family, but you're not looking at that. Maybe you have helped a group of people to do something and you're not looking at it. Maybe you have provided leadership in a place, but you're not looking at that. So these are some of the things that we overlook most of the time, and they really carries weight when we define our success. Now, after evaluating, the next step is to come up with an action plan. And after coming up with an action plan is for you to get started. You know, it's going to be tough, but just get started and improve on the way, change things. If there is anything that needs to be adjusted, you can do that as you move on progressively on your way. Success is a personal concept. If you allow people to define what success is for you, you will really climb to the top of the mountain only to see your mountain at a distance. You'll only go high in life and only to realize that your ladder was leaning on the wrong wall. So this is the time for you to start to define and to design the kind of success you have based on your values, based on your purpose, based on what you want to do in life, the things that gives you happiness, the things that gives you joy. And from that, you'll have a definition of success that no one will take out of you, that you will save yourself a lot of frustration, because you will have an ultimate blueprint for your life.